Do you work for a horrible boss? There's actually some good things about that. You know, frustration leads to career reinvention. I've had some awful experiences working for terrible, terrible people that should not be managing people. But there's always a silver lining, and I'll explain what that is shortly. But I want to show you this desk I got. It's pretty cool, actually. It goes up, it goes down. It's actually really good for you. Apparently when you stand and you're working, you can burn a lot more calories. So I don't know if I can do this justice here, but this here, it's kind of like a yoga mat. You kind of stretch on it and it helps you stand up and work for a long period of time. Anyway, so let's talk today about working for a horrible boss and the upside to that, because there's always an upside in working for people that should not be managing people. And sometimes it's because they feel kind of threatened by you. And so I have this great saying, which is unjustified criticism is nothing more than a disguised compliment, which is pretty cool. I like that saying. Okay, and often what happens is bosses can feel really threatened by you. And some of them are so insecure they might think, oh my gosh, I hired my assassin. But at the end of the day, if they're threatened by you, and it happens a lot, right? And a lot of great entrepreneurs, they actually end up working for awful people initially, and they get so frustrated they start their own company, which is pretty cool. So here's what we're gonna do today. Christine is out having coffee, that's my wife, with her friend. I'm gonna grab Dylan. Dylan, I'm supposed to be playing Fortnite, come on. Let's go to the park. Okay, come on, let's go. We're gonna go to the park? All right, that's my son, Dylan. Not supposed to be playing Fortnite, but he is.
Mom said I can.
Okay, sorry, Mom's always right. So it's gonna be interesting because I bet you the park is empty because everyone's playing Fortnite. So anyway, we're gonna get in the car and we're going to the park, and I'm gonna talk a lot more about what to do if you work for somebody that is just terrible at managing other people. So I'll be back soon, thanks. All right, bud, ready to go? All right, we're recording. All right, let's go, buddy. All right, so we're at Dylan's school now. I worked for people in the past that were so difficult to work for that the positive I took out of it was that I learned what not to do. That's a blessing in disguise. And anybody that's ever been extraordinarily successful has been frustrated working for other people, which is really interesting, right? You know, Robert Redford, great actor, he got fired from an oil company. Madonna, the singer, I think she got fired from Dunkin' Donuts. I don't like Dunkin' Donuts. I got fired once. And I didn't understand why, because I made the firm a lot of money. And I think it's one of two things, I guess, I don't know. One was that maybe I was a threat to my boss. He said it was general restructuring, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, and I think when you get let go from a company, it can be a blessing in disguise. And on Wall Street, they say you're not a real person unless you've been let go at one point or another. And so I remember I was at Accenture once. I worked in consulting, and I didn't get let go from there. Almost did. But I worked for this guy. I'm so tempted to say his name, but I'm not going to. It wouldn't be classy. But it was late one night, and it was about 10 o'clock, and I just started at Accenture, which I call accidenture. Just kidding, sort of. I don't know. No, I had good experiences at accidenture. And this guy, what happened was he asked me to print out a report from a database. And so I tried my best. I couldn't get it to print out. And I said to him, sir, I called him sir, it's crazy, I know. I said, I tried so hard, but I couldn't figure it out. And he looked at me and he said, it's because you're incompetent. Then he turned around and walked away. And I was crushed. I was crushed. And you know, when you're younger and you first get criticized, you don't know how to handle it, how to take it. I guess the right answer, first of all, I think what he did was wrong. But I guess the right answer would have been for me to say something along the lines of, I don't know, but I'll find out. But that really motivated me. I mean, it destroyed my confidence and my willingness to work hard at that company. And I remember I went home that night and I stopped by a bookstore and I got a book from the Princeton Review on how to write the GMAT. And so I'm glad that guy was a jerk to me, because if he hadn't been that way, I wouldn't have gone out and did something to change careers. And by the way, I only think you should go to business school or get an MBA if you want to change careers, and if you cannot change careers by networking, right? And we talked about networking and setting up informational meetings in yesterday's vlog. So in hindsight, everything negative that's happened to me in my life, and maybe it's the same for you from a professional perspective within reason, if you look back years later, it can be actually a blessing in disguise. And I have this saying that I love, which is unjustified criticism is nothing more than a disguised compliment. And you'll find that the more successful you get, the more you'll be criticized unfairly. And you'll get to a point, hopefully, where you can basically think to yourself, well, thank you for that unjustified criticism. People are staring at me. I think I look kind of strange here walking around a park with my son. Anyway, so but you look back and you'll be cool with them unjustly criticizing you to a certain extent. And you'll find that as you get even more and more successful, when people congratulate you, it'll be kind of two-faced. They'll say, yeah, congratulations, you know, and you can always tell when people are being sincere or not. And so I think what a good thing to do is look back upon your career setbacks and see them as a blessing, okay? Because you might not be as successful and happy as you want to be in life if you don't have these negative things happen to you. And again, unjustified criticism is a disguised compliment. I had to repeat that one. Another quote I love is, sometimes you need a storm to clear the skies. And if that storm or crazy event at work where you've been treated unfairly influences you to be so frustrated that you find another job or you start your own company, then that's a good thing. And we'll talk a lot about starting companies in this vlog. I promise you I'll help you out as much as I can, because I've failed so much over the years in trying to start companies. And you know, Michael Jordan said I failed over and over and over again. That's why I succeeded. What's up, Dylan?
Can I go to the basketball court?
Okay, sure. Yeah, for sure. All right, that's my boss, Dylan. They just put up these gates here recently at the school. I think you know why. It's kind of sad. But anyway, crazy world we live in at times. All right, buddy, you lead the way. I'll follow you, okay? All right, love you. No, sidewalk only, as I learned yesterday. And by the way, thank you for the couple people that left comments in yesterday's vlog telling me not to walk on the road, as I almost got hit by a car. I was trying to keep it real, but a little bit irresponsible of me, to be honest. So anyway, so when you're working for somebody else and you're very frustrated, I want you to start companies on the side. And I've done this a lot. And you only have to be right in business one time. That's it. And everybody that's a very successful entrepreneur or business person has failed more times than you and I combined. And so what I used to do is when I would work for other people, I would start companies on the side and advertise in foreign markets overseas so that my boss and my peers wouldn't see what I was doing. I remember I started one company where I advertised, I picked Pakistan, and it started working actually. Actually, it's kind of this business I'm doing right now. And then I finally threw off my training wheels, and I was able to leave, and I feel liberated because of that. And so when you work for somebody that is a jerk, and it happens, you don't just learn what not to do, but it motivates you to start a company on the side. And I've always only been 70% there when I worked for other people that weren't nice to me. And that was enough not to get fired. But the 30% of the time I was there, I was always thinking, and I always produced whatever, I was always thinking, what company can I start? What company can I start? How can I start? How can I start it? And then I failed a bunch of times starting my own companies. And eventually it worked out. But the more you fail, the more you succeed. With each successive failure, the closer you get to success. And so I think I'll end this vlog right now, but if you have any topics you want me to cover, business or career-wise or development-wise, let me know. And one more thing I want to mention, I just thought of this. Dealing with bullies at work, like not pushing around stuff, sometimes it's hard to just turn the other cheek. I'll never instigate something, but if I get pushed around a bit verbally by my peers, which it happens, whatever, people are jerks everywhere, right? I'll push back too, a little bit, but respectfully. Okay, just respectfully. And I thought of that because of my son here. Yeah, I'll go there. So what happened was somebody was kind of bothering him at school, and I told him to tell the teacher. And there's only so much a teacher can do, right? Bullying exists no matter what. And I told him this, and I'm always very transparent, and to learn that about me through this whole process, not a good thing always, but I told him, if somebody pushes you, I want you to first of all say, hey, don't push me. And if they push you again, then I want you to push back harder. And it's kind of a tough thing for me to say. And you know, you have kids, you just want to wrap your arms around them and protect them forever. But you know, at one point they're going to leave the nest, and you got to help them survive. And I actually got bullied a lot when I was a kid, and I really only fought back one time. And I'll never forget, we were playing basketball. I wasn't that tall, and there was this guy, I won't say his name, but he ended up being a nice guy later. But he kept pushing me and bullying me, and I couldn't take it anymore, man. So I pushed him back, and he fell down. And Mr. Hutchison called me over. He said, Haroun. And I went over, I was like, I thought to myself, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. You know, it's worth it. You gotta stand up for yourself. He looked at me and he said, congratulations, well done. It was kind of cool, whatever. It is what it is. But you gotta deal with that a lot. And it's interesting, and I want to talk about Sequoia, which is the best venture capital firm in the world. There's a guy there named Doug Leone. Amazing guy, really smart, really nice guy. And I did some business with him, and I sat down with him for a couple hours one day because I asked. I mean, he's literally the #1 VC in the world. And whenever I meet with somebody more successful than me, which is almost all the time, I always ask for 1 or 2 pieces of advice. And that's the crux of one of my books, 101 Crucial Lessons. They don't teach in business school. I don't want to plug stuff here, but whatever. But I sat down with Doug, and I said to him, Doug, you've been so incredibly successful over the years. You know, Sequoia is the venture capital firm that backed WhatsApp, which was sold to Facebook, I think, for $20 billion. They did Google, anyway, every great IPO or tech company they were involved with, basically. But I asked him, I said, Doug, what kind of people do you invest in? What kind of people do you hire? And what he said blew me away. And I wouldn't have believed it if anybody else said it, but it's Doug, right? And Doug said, sometimes the best people to invest in are those people that they have a chip on their shoulder. Maybe something happened to them earlier in their life. I don't know what it is. Something happened to them that leads them to believe that they've got to prove the world wrong. And with Steve Jobs, he had some father issues, didn't know who his dad was for years, whatever. And he was very successful because of that. Elon Musk, a lot of people don't know this, but I feel sorry for him because when he was, it's similar to me too, when he was in South Africa growing up, he had the crap kicked out of him a lot. And so what happens is these entrepreneurs are great to invest in because they won't sell their company for a couple $100,000 or $1 million or $2 million. They'll want that company to be dominant, like a $100 billion company, that sort of thing. And it's kind of prophetic because today Apple just passed $1 trillion market cap. It's amazing, amazing. And so people that have a chip on their shoulder sometimes are the best people to invest in because they're so ambitious. They want to prove the world wrong, that sort of thing. And I also asked, Doug, well, what other kind of people do you hire? And he said, well, it wasn't Doug didn't tell me this one thing. I'll tell you next. Somebody else there did, which is this. Some of the front office staff at Sequoia, the way that they find them is the senior people at Sequoia, venture capital firm here in the Bay Area, they'll go to Nordstrom's, which is a big retailer, and they'll look to see who the best sales reps are, right? I don't know if you've ever gone to a clothing store and the sales rep's been so good, you think to yourself, gosh, I want to hire her or him, you know? Anyway, so I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to end it right now and spend some time with my wonderful boy there. I can't get this time back, right? So Anyway, have a great weekend, and I'll send the next vlog to you tomorrow. Thank you.